defense like that. I don't think we know, but as best we can sort of guess at this stuff, Ohio State's offense was not very good. They were vulnerable. They were beatable. What did Jake Trotter say? Average, below average quarterback play. He thinks Texas wins that game. They just got abysmal. I think I did a minute earlier and said it was an abomination for March. It's not a permanent one. It's not necessarily forever. It's not. But that isn't, if you're Ohio State, coming off a national championship, having, as you tend to when that happens, lost a lot of guys to the draft, having a talented but young team, nice to win a game against the number one team in the country where your offense wasn't very good. It's a nice outcome.
And where the story of the game, right, all offseason was not even about Ohio State. Like, you would forget they were the defending champions with the talent. It's just all about Arch. And they took that and made it about them.
That's a great point. You know what Arch needs? He needs to play UNC. That would have been the solution. Could have gotten that scheduled.
Can we make that happen like week 2, just a little switcheroo? All of a sudden now Texas gets a nice little warm-up against Bill Belichick?
What is their schedule? What is UNC for the next few weeks? I meant to look at that this morning. So Charlotte, Richmond, UCF, and then on October 4th they get into, then they have Clemson.
Oh, boy.
I mean, honestly, what is going to happen if they lose to Charlotte or Richmond? Can he can't be fired. He can't be fired 3 or 4 games in. I mean, you have to see it through.
At least this year.
Yeah, the year.
Yeah.
If you lose one of those games, it's hot seat time. It's
if he goes 4-8 like Deion did it in year 1 in Colorado, but he beats Charlotte and Richmond. It's not like there's no like embarrassing loss in the sense of you're so much better than this team you lose.
Didn't they get off to a good start?
Colorado 3-0.
Yeah,
and then the wheels
and they
fell
played
off.
but they played some scrappy football and they showed some green shoots of hope. He can't lose to Charlotte or Richmond, right? I mean, as bad as they were, that's not real.
I don't think that's in the. I mean, I don't think it's in the realm of possibility. It can't be. It's not.
On the other hand, if you just blow the doors off of Charlotte and you blow the doors off of Richmond, maybe you get some confidence. You get rid of some of the. I mean, good teams, not often, but sometimes good teams do get blown out early in seasons. It happens.
He did have 70 new players, right? And a lot of those guys came after spring. So maybe it is just one of those, like, you need a month to play to finally get on the same page, understand each other.
The problem is that is totally true if you have confidence in the coach. There wasn't a facet of the game where they looked like they belonged at that level. And they didn't play Oregon. They didn't play Ohio State. They didn't play Michigan even or Oklahoma. I mean, they played, maybe we'll find out that TCU is really, really good and is in a crowded Big 12 wins that conference or comes close. But TCU is good, but they're not, let's not get it twisted. They're not an exceptional football team.
Would you put more weight right now into the TCU game or Clemson game if they get to, is that a better barometer, Clemson, versus what we saw yesterday, you think? Of how this is going to go?
Yeah, that's a good point. The Clemson game on October 4th, which is, a month and a couple days from now, a little more than a month, that'll be the test. You don't even have to win that game, but just lose it 27-24.
Not 48-14?
Right. Don't have me wondering if Bill Belichick was crying after the game. Is this the time to use his phone number and see if it still works?
Hey, Bill, you want to talk about what happened?
It was a fun show today. It is great to be back on the air. Thank you to Ryan Hickey. Thank you to Jake Trotter, my good buddy from ESPN, for being on the program. We appreciate you listening. Hope you're back with us here tomorrow on Righter Than You.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Michaels & Gateway Cosmetic and Family Dentistry has been Greenville's premier dental practice for over 40 years. I am Dr. Chris Gateway, and our mission at Michaels & Gateway is to provide exceptional dental care with compassion, integrity, and innovation, ensuring every patient leaves with a healthy, confident smile. Doctors Michaels & Gateway are committed to providing an outstanding patient experience with every visit. Not only do we offer all your dental needs under one roof, in most cases, we can take care of those needs on the same day. Bring your smile to us at Michaels & Gateway Cosmetic and Family Dentistry.
You know that sound? That's the sound of relaxation in a can. Flippo Farms THC seltzers are here. It's time to try something different. Our THC-infused seltzers are crisp, refreshing, and just what you need to take the edge off without taking you out. Whether you're tailgating, grilling out, or just surviving another day of meetings, Flippo Farms seltzers bring chill with zero hangover.
Try a Flippo Farms THC seltzer at Nash Hot Chicken. 21 and older, please drink responsibly.
At Flatlands Jessup Insurance Group, our goal is to turn everyone we talk to into a customer for life. It's a fundamental difference between us and other agencies. We aren't trying to just sell you something. We're asking questions to understand your situation so we can find a solution that fits your budget and your needs. It's a partnership aimed at protecting the things that matter most to you, like your family, your health, your assets, and your time. Our customers don't see us as salesmen. They see us as partners in problem solving. See the difference for yourself. Flatlands Jessup Insurance Group, your whole world covered.
Pirate Nation, your dream home starts with Unshakable Builders. Now building in Sutherland Estates in Greenville and Dolostone Court in Wilson, with homes available now. And stay tuned, Cross Creek Townhomes in Greenville and Whitaker Glen and Farmville are coming soon. Browse available homes, explore floor plans, and see past projects today at unshakablebuilders.com. Have questions? Use live chat, fill out the contact form, or call the office at 814-9105. Unshakable Builders, build on a solid foundation.
Overtime Tavern is the place to be for great food, cold drinks, and all your game day action with over 10 TVs. Swing in today and try a mouth-watering burger, glizzies, wings, or check out their daily specials featuring some of the best items on the menu. OT's has a weekly lineup of entertainment starting Tuesday with Singo, Wednesday is sports trivia with Clip Brock, and Thursday's local acoustic acts playing the tunes. OT's is located on Charles Boulevard across from the Sheets and is open daily from 11 a.m. to midnight. There's always time on the clock at Overtime Tavern.
Are you thinking about purchasing a new home? Stop by and see us at Integrity Home Mortgage at our new location in Greenville at 1420 Arlington Boulevard. This is Talbot Green at Integrity Home Mortgage. We offer a wide variety of loan programs to help get you pre-approved. Our team of Talbot Green, Braxton Green, and Joanne Weir has over 50 years of experience and is committed to providing you with superior customer service you deserve.
To get started, call me, Braxton Green, at 526-8260.
Braxton Green, NMLS 222-3878. For informational purposes only, Integrity Home Mortgage Corporation is an equal housing lender, NMLS 208516.
When the truth matters, trust the professionals at Private Eyes. Founded in 1999 by law enforcement officer and military veteran Gary Pastor, Private Eyes specializes in private investigations, executive protection, security, and threat detection services. From individuals, attorneys, and businesses, Private Eyes has the experience, resources, and state-of-the-art technology to uncover answers and protect what matters most. Private Eyes, professional, discreet, trusted. Call 866-774-3937.
This is Holt Nailers for my friends at Anson Belts, the belts that I wear. Go to ansonbelt.com to find micro-adjustable holeless belts with over 30-plus options of a 1/4 inch apart instead of your typical 5 holes 1 inch apart, always giving you the perfect fit every time. If your waist fluctuates, Anson Belt is great because you can always find the perfect fit any time of the year. AnsonBelt.com. Over 10,000 combinations to choose from, a belt for every occasion, and the official belt of the Holt Naylor Show.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern North Carolina's longest-running sports radio call-in show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio is brought to you by
Bojangles, Bostic Sugg, Michelob Ultra, East Coast Grading, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Auto World, Greenville Utilities, Papa John's, Pepsi, QC Kinetics, Taft and Hagler, The Rick House, and Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
All right, good Tuesday, everyone. Welcome into our show, a jam-packed show as East Carolina gets set for its home opener coming up on Saturday night, 6 o'clock kickoff. The Camels of Campbell come into town, and we've got plenty of Campbell talk coming up. Braxton Harris, the head coach of Campbell, is standing by. He's going to be our first guest. Chris Hemeyer joins us after that, Senior Associate AD for External Affairs. He's the play-by-play voice of the Camels, and many of you know him from his time at Channel 12 here in our market. And Dale Steele, the Hall of Famer, had 3 stints at East Carolina. He joins us in the back half of our show. But Coach Harris is standing by right now down in Bowies Creek. We want to get him on right away. Coach, welcome to our show today.
Hey, Brian, thanks for having me today.
Hey, we appreciate you being on. I know how busy guys, coaches are this time of year trying to get ready for a game and that kind of thing. But I wanted to pick your brain on a couple of topics. When you watched East Carolina against NC State, what did you see out of the Pirates?
Yeah, they fly around and play physical, both offensively and defensively. Just the overall team speed that Coach Harold and that staff has built right there. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's on special teams, offense, or defense. You just see speed all over the field, and that's tough to prep for, tough to mimic in a practice.
When you look at a matchup against an FBS school, you're an FCS school, what are some of the main differences regardless of who the opponent is?
Yeah, obviously the resources are different at our level than an FBS level. Just as far as number of things, you talk about number of scholarships. We're still built around about 63, 64 full scholarships here. We're at that level now, and I don't know what ECU's numbers are for theirs, but you can go all the way up to 105. That's a different kind of situation. But then you also just talk about the resources as far as the staff. Staffing, we don't have some of those off-the-field personnel that probably ECU does have at the end of the day. And the biggest thing here is just the history. This program's only been alive for 17 years. When Coach Steele, like you're going to talk to later, you're going to talk to the real guy later, there's just a history, and we're trying to be able to make our own way and be able to create our own legacy as we continue to build this thing.
You took your team on the road last week, taking on number 9 Rhode Island, fell in that game 31-20, but you had a lead in that game late in the contest. What did you see out of your ball club in that game?
Yeah, I think it proves that we can play football, right? I mean, Rhode Island's the number 9 team in the country. Conference game, the defending conference champ, the preseason ones to win it at their place on the road week 1. I mean, I don't know, Brian, how you get more, adversity that you have to face. I thought our kids went in there and played really well in some spots. We were able to get a lead on them, but that's something we weren't able to do really very much last year is to play ahead. We were always chasing. And that was a big point of emphasis in the offseason is how do we start fast and how do we get our guys going? And I thought we did that. Now we got to be able to add the second component to be able to finish. We were up 4 going into the fourth quarter. And then we got outscored 14-0 in the fourth quarter, and that's where we've got to be able to make up the difference. We've got to be able to go finish ball games, and that's a discipline standpoint, it's a mentality standpoint, it's an execution standpoint.
Braxton Harris, in his second year as the Campbell head football coach, his Fighting Camels come to Greenville coming up on Saturday at 6 o'clock for East Carolina's home opener. In 2024, your first year, you go 3-9. You got the big win against number 17 Western Carolina. What was that win like for you personally?
Yeah, that was a great opportunity. Anytime you win, winning is fun, right? That's why you get into this business is to be able to win football games. And it doesn't matter really who you're against, but to have a top 25 team, and that was our programs here at Campbell. That was our first ever win over a top 25 team on the road. And so I think what that shows you is the ceiling is really high here at Campbell. I don't think we've even gotten close to where this program can be. And that was one of the really exciting things for me to come back to Campbell was I knew the ceiling was high. I knew we had the opportunities here. I knew we had the resources here to be able to compete. at a high level. I mean, you're talking about that's a top 25 game. You're talking about the one we played last Friday. That's a top 10 game, and you're right there in those contests. That's why we came here is we want to compete at that high level. And I think this Campbell program, I think this is a program that can be in those conversations as we move forward.
Yeah, and you talked about some of the ranked teams that you played. Like last year, 15th ranked William & Mary, you fall by a touchdown. 13th ranked Richmond, you fall in a close game by a field goal. So you guys, you were right in there in a couple of big games, weren't you?
Absolutely. You know, we had five games last year that you go into the fourth quarter and it's a one-score game or a tie ball game, right? And that's what it comes down to is you got to be able to do those things. You add the Rhode Island game, now we're in 6 of those ball games. And so we're in those conversations and we're in the competition. Our kids are doing a great job competing, but we got to be able to go finish. And that's the thing that we're trying to emphasize today with our kids is that we got to be able to go finish. And how we do that is be disciplined to our technique. And that's what happens when you're playing a lot of guys for the first time. Last year was we got here in January, and so you're trying to build a program after the transfer portal really had closed, which is tough to be able to do. And then this year we were able to build a roster, but a lot of our guys on Friday night, that was their first time to get really significant minutes. And so the biggest margin of growth that we're excited to be able to see is from week 1 to week 2.
And that's what most coaches usually say, that you see the most growth in your football team from week 1 to week 2. And that's just not, a coach, coach speak, as you would say. That's pretty much true, isn't it?
Absolutely, because we're all humans. I mean, you and I both. We can be told a million things, but until we go on the field trip ourselves and see it ourselves, we look at it differently, right? And that's what a lot of our young men, they went on the field trip, and then some of the things that we try to emphasize, and that now it becomes a lot more real to them, and they see the value in that. That's human nature. We can be told you need to save your money all the time, but that new car sure does look good, right then and there.
You sound like my wife now. We had that same conversation.
Absolutely. And so, we're all humans. And that's what this part of coaching football, yes, is about the X's and O's. But the bigger point is that we're trying to get a group of young men, a staff to all choose the same thing and the same vision, for 180 snaps in a football game on a Saturday night.
What was it like in 21 and 22 as an assistant on Mike Minter's staff at Campbell?
Yeah, I owe a lot to Coach Minter. Coach Minter was really good to me. He gave me the opportunity to be at the Division I level. If it wasn't for Coach Minter, I don't think I'd be the head coach here at Campbell right now. And so very thankful for the opportunity that he afforded me. Coach went at it so differently because Coach Minter and I couldn't have been more polar opposites. He's played 10 years in the league. He was an All-American at Nebraska, one of the greatest players for the Panthers to play. And I was a D3 backup quarterback. And so our places that we came from were totally opposite. And he really taught me some different things to be able to look at the game differently than I had in previous. And I'm very, very thankful for the opportunity and that he gave me, but then also just to learn a different perspective. And he helped me see that in a little bit of different light.
When you look at the all-time series between Campbell and East Carolina, Campbell leads the series 3-2. The series dates back to the 30s, and believe it or not, I had to tell all the people at the press conference on Monday that I was not around for the 30s games, but East Carolina won the first one in 33 and then lost a couple of 7-6 games in 37 and 38. Then you got a game in 39, but Pirates did win 49-10 in 2022. That was the first matchup in the modern era of East Carolina and Campbell. Is this a game you'd like to see every year?
I think it's a great game. I think it's great for our fan base. Again, like you said, the modern era of Campbell football. I think ECU does it right on a game day. And for our fans and our alumni and our base to be able to see what football can bring and how much value that football can bring a community. That's the thing that I think that going to ECU and playing those guys, they get to see the value. Our people get to see the value of it, and they get to see how it helps the whole. And that's what we're trying to build here in Bowie's Creek is we're trying to build a football program that not only is successful on the football field, but brings value to our community and creates a fan base that's excited about Campbell University. And so I think it's a great game, that's for sure.
And you guys have North Carolina State on the schedule later this year, don't you?
Yeah, we got no weak sisters on the schedule.
That's right,
for sure, man. But, again, that's another good game for us. Again, it's a local game. Our kids get excited about playing that. Over 50% of our rosters from the Carolinas. And so those kids are getting to play at places that's what they wanted to dream and play in those environments. And then they get to play against guys that they have relationships with, maybe through high school or playing each other in the past. And so I just think they're really good games for us as the university to be associated with. But then it's also a lot of fun for our guys to play in those stadiums and those environments.
Later on in our show, we're going to talk with Dale Steele. He's a good friend of mine, has 3 stints here at East Carolina. He's a Hall of Famer now at Campbell as he helped to resurrect that program after a 50-plus year hiatus. But what does it mean to have a guy like Dale Steele to advise you on certain things and that kind of thing?
Oh, man, you hit the nail on the head. Coach Steele has been great to me. During the interview process, he was one of the guys that I sat down and met with during the interview process, I guess 2 years ago now at this point. And just to hear his passion for Campbell, just to hear his passion for his players, it was a great reminder for me as a young coach that we get into this business. Yes, we want to win, but we want to make a difference in kids' lives. And I remember when he and I talked one of the first times, he said, Braxton, I'm getting involved in this thing because I want this place to be a place that my guys, they can come back to. They can be welcomed back to, and that it can be home for them. And, he has that heart for his players, even now after he's been gone, but you see him get around those guys, and it's just like they were back in the locker room together. And so he's been awesome for me as a coach just to be able to run ideas by. He's come in and sat down a couple times to watch us in spring ball and some fall camps, and I get a chance to ask him some head coach questions and be able to learn from him. And he's just a great source of encouragement. If you know Coach Steele, he's a guy that you're going to leave that conversation smiling, and you're going to be glad that you had that opportunity to speak with him and spend time with him.
Yeah, he'll tell you a story or two, won't he?
He's got a couple loaded, for sure.
Yeah, he's got them locked and loaded all the time. We're talking with Braxton Harris, head football coach at Campbell. Again, Campbell, East Carolina, coming up 6 o'clock kickoff at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium this Saturday, the home opener for East Carolina. Talk about your ball club a little bit. Give us some of the names that we'll see coming up on Saturday. Start with your quarterback, Camden Sixkiller.
Yeah, Camden's a guy that's done a really good job for us. Kind of unique story about Camden. He was at McNeese State when I was at HCU, and we played him when he was a true freshman. He was 18 years old, a true freshman. They were an 0-10 football team at that time, and we were having a pretty good season. And, I'll never forget, he threw for 250 yards against us. He took a hit from a kid that was a third-round draft pick, knocked him out of the game, comes back in the game, and almost gives him a chance to win the ball game at the end. I remember looking over to my defensive coordinator at the end of the game. I said, man, if that kid's an 18-year-old freshman, we're going to be in trouble. And just his moxie and his poise of being able to handle himself in those game situations, I think he does a great job. So when he hopped in the transfer portal, man, it was a no-brainer. I had seen it. I had been on that field trip, kind of like I talked about before. I had seen the look in his eye, and we definitely want him to be a part of our team here.
What kind of game do you expect coming up on Saturday?
Well, I'll take that 7-6 game you talked about in the 30s.
Yeah, I bet.
I'll take that in a heartbeat. I don't know if that's how it's going to work out, but I think it's a game that ECU wants to play fast, and they want to push the ball down the field vertically in that spot, and then defensively, they swarmed at the game. We've got to be able to get a first down offensively. The goal is every series to get a first down. If we're able to do that, we're able to keep the ball in our hands, and then hopefully get opportunities to create explosive plays down the field when those opportunities present themselves. And then, defensively, I think we got to eliminate the explosive. If you go back and you look at our game last week, we gave up 5 explosive plays. If you take away 3 of those or, 2 of those, the outcome's a different ball game. And so we've got to be able to do those 2 things. And I hope that's the way the ball game works out. I know that staff and Coach Harrell over there, they got different ideas on how it works out. But for us, that's what we got to do. We got to focus on us, and we got to focus on what we do, and we got to focus on our execution.
State was a 2-touchdown favorite over East Carolina, and the thinking, I think, on the Pirates sideline was let's get it to the fourth quarter. Let's give ourselves a chance to win it at the end, and they had that chance. They were right down there at the 9-yard line, 4th and 1, couldn't convert, and they fall by a touchdown. I would think in your shoes, as you look at it, you take that any day of the week, get to that fourth quarter and have a chance.
Well, that's college football, right?
Yeah.
that's what it is right now. It doesn't matter if you're playing Rhode Island, ECU, or anybody else. The goal is to get it to the fourth quarter and give yourself an opportunity in the fourth quarter to go win a ball game. And so, for us, this is a great opportunity to go play a really good football team. But at the end of the day, this is the next step in our process. And this process is still got to be about us. It's still good. And this is all coach talk, right? Everybody says this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it really is. It really has to be about us getting better and us improving. And if we do those things, we'll give ourselves, like you said, hopefully the clock turns up in the fourth quarter and you're in a place that you can go have a chance to go win a ball game. And that's all you can ask for in college football today.
Should be a lot of fun as Campbell comes to town. Coach, thanks so much for your time on this Tuesday. Best of luck coming up this weekend. Have a safe trip up here to Greenville, and we'll see you on Saturday night.
Sounds great. Y'all have a good one.
All right, Braxton Harris, head football coach at Campbell, joining us. We'll take our first commercial break of our show right now. Coming up next, Chris Hemeyer, Senior Associate AD for External Affairs, also the play-by-play voice of the Fighting Camels. He's up next. Later, Dale Steele, former East Carolina assistant. He resurrected that Campbell program after that 50-plus years without football at Campbell. Back with more on this Tuesday after this.
Want to make your day better? You can now order 2 large original crust one-topping pizzas from Papa John's for only $9.99 each. Take advantage of this awesome carry-out special now by logging on to papajohns.com and make today a pizza day for only $9.99 each. Papa John's is an MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards and start earning points for your favorite menu items. Go Pirates!
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft, Taft & Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
It's back. The Subaru A Lot to Love event is rolling in for the summer. August 1st through September 2nd, stop by Capital Subaru of Greenville and get great deals on new 2025 Subaru models. Explore top models like the 2025 Crosstrek, Outback, and Forester, all with incredible savings you won't want to miss. Love a great deal? Then you're going to love this event. Hurry into Capital Subaru of Greenville today off of Memorial Drive and online at capitalsubarugreenville.com.
Here at the Holistic Company, we know that life throws you its fair share of curveballs. Like passing that drug test? Congrats. Now you can finally relax, kick back, and, well, light one up. You've earned it. With weekly events like trivia, karaoke, comedy, open mic, movie night, and, of course, all your favorites. Flour, merch, carts, edibles, and wellness products. Whatever you need to legally take the edge off, we've got your vibe covered. Order online at theholisticco.com or visit us at 5th and Evans in Greenville or at one of our other 2 locations in Fremont or Smithfield. The Holistic Company.
And it's 1st and goal for the Johnsons. They're looking to score their dream home. They hand it off to ENC Pirate Realty, Alan Tate, and boom! Touchdown! That's a home sold in record time.
It's a great thing they handed it to ENC Pirate Realty. The last drive, they tried to sell their own home and fumbled.
Whether you're buying, selling, or just scouting the field, the winning play is ENC Pirate Realty Alan Tate. Visit encpiraterealty.com today, where we bring championship service to every yard. At ENC Pirate Realty Alan Tate, they close the deal or someone walks the plank.
Go Pirates!
Hey Pirate Nation, warm weather is here and it's time to get back on the boat. And at Stroud's Marine, they're stocked up with over 26,000 pre-owned parts. They got everything you need from propellers, lower units, trim units, electrical and fuel parts, and just about anything else you need for an outboard. Stay up to date with the latest deals, parts, and promotions by following them on social media. And as always, their mission is to save you money and get you back on the water as quickly as possible. Remember, they're just around the corner. Stop by the shop at 865 Rivet Street in Greenville. For more information, head to StroudsMarine.com. Stroud's Marine, your best source for salvaged outboard parts.
This is Chris Johnson, CJ2K. You listen to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, providing reliable utility solutions to the Greenville region since 1905. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Tuesday, getting you set for the Pirates home opener coming up on Saturday, 6 o'clock kickoff, East Carolina and the Fighting Camels of Campbell at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. The weather is expected to be absolutely beautiful, so should be a great night for football. Fighting Camels and Pirates, both teams looking for their first victory. Chris Hemeyer, the Senior Associate AD for External Affairs, also the play-by-play voice of the Fighting Camels, joins us now. You might remember Chris Hemeyer from his days at WCTI TV 12 as the sports reporter there. Chris, how are you? We got you somewhere out there.
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. Everything's good. I thought Clip had pushed the wrong button, but I think he had the right one up there. We lost you for a second there. How's it going?
Hey, it's going great. This is about a year overdue, and I was probably on mute when I sent this to you as well. But congratulations on the 40-year anniversary there, man. That is incredible. I mean, I'm starting year 15 at Campbell, and I'm trying to figure out how to get to next year and the year after that. So just amazing what you have done there, and as you always have, spending time on schools like us means a lot, man. We really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. It's been a great ride, and it's just, sometimes in life you find a place that you kind of fit in and you really like. I think you've probably found that at Campbell. I found mine early on, and just decided at some point. I used to apply for jobs all the time, and I'd finish second here or third here, and then finally I said, "Why do you want to leave?" I tell this story very quickly. I had a dream one night that I was working in Norfolk, Virginia. And I got up, and Melissa and Bella and all the whole family, they were getting ready with purple and gold on to go to Greenville. I said, "What are you guys doing?" They said, "We're going to the Pirate game, and you got to stay here and work." And I thought, man, that's not going to happen. So I woke up in a cold sweat and haven't had a thought of leaving since then. But I appreciate the kind words. What is it like at Campbell as you guys, not building a program, but trying to get up in that upper level? What's it like? Because Coach Harris obviously has some really good things going. I think we lost him again. Okay, have you got us?
Yep, I'm right here, and again, I'm just nervous, Brian. I haven't done it a long time, so I don't know how to do it. We do get great cell reception here in Bowie's Creek, so I wanted to make sure you knew that. But what you were saying on that story, Brian, was fantastic, because that's one of the things that has been so great for me, and I've been so lucky to get to since I've been here. The big fact of the matter is, boy, this athletic department, as well as the football program, is really growing, and I've been able to grow with this place. You're going to talk to Coach Steele, which the fact that he was able to build a program from scratch, not have scholarships to offer anybody, and have a winning season in 4 years, still in my mind, as long as I've been in this business, Brian, one of the greatest coaching achievements that I have really ever been around. And it has built here. This used to be a commuter in a suitcase campus. About Friday at 3 o'clock, you asked people what it was like here 20 years ago, and people got out of town and they'd come back Sunday night. Football has really meant a lot to this area. Football has meant a lot to this university, and it continues to grow. We weren't even a scholarship program in football until 2018. So if you think of where Campbell has come, Campbell being in the CAA would have just been a pipe dream 20 years ago. Football was a big part of that, but also the entire athletic department here. If you go back, Brian, and you know what it was like here over 18 years ago, it was 2007. We didn't have a football team. The basketball team played in one of the smallest gyms in Division I that looked like it was right out of Hoosiers.
Yes, it did.
The next year, you're right. The next year they built the new arena. They started football. And then in 2011, another key thing that happened here was they joined the Big South Conference. It made a lot of sense. They were in the Atlantic Sun for 20 years. They moved back into the geographic conference that was the Big South, Campbell ended up winning 52 championships in 13 sports. As you know, the battles ECU and Campbell has had in baseball, they had a 15th ranked baseball team that went to the regional final 3 times, including one time in Greenville. And then Campbell, from being really Division I in name only in 20 years, moved up to the CAA. Football is a huge part of that. Make no mistake about it, Campbell much more attracted to the CAA with that football program. I've been lucky to be here through a lot of that run from 2011 on, and it has changed everything around here. And now we are becoming a suburb of Raleigh. We're 45 minutes away of downtown Raleigh, an hour away from the airport, and it's pretty darn expensive to live in the Triangle now. So a lot of people are coming here, and the Triangle's coming to us, which is even going to make things better for this athletic department in this university.
What are some of your duties as the Senior Associate AD for External Affairs? Because that's a fancy title there, bud.
Man, I tell you what, number one, it really, really impresses Mom and Dad.
That's got to impress them.
Oh my gosh, and that's the biggest thing. It has been a lot of fun too because this place has believed in me and allowed me to grow. And I started off, I was the guy that was like you still are doing, shooting the games, broadcasting the games, doing a little bit of both. But as I have got my feet planted here firmly, they've moved me into where I deal with the tickets and the partnerships and the sponsorships and the marketing and the broadcasting and the communications department, doing a little bit of everything. As you know as well, it is all intertwined now. And so they've allowed me to still do the broadcasting, which I really, really love, giving me a lot of help to do some of the other games, and then trying to really grow this athletic department and get the word out about what's going on in Campbell here, and getting people to come to our games and getting our recruits to come to Bowie's Creek.
What do you remember most about your time at Channel 12 at WCTI?
Man, I tell you what, this is what a lot of people say about Campbell too, but this is why I love being in Eastern North Carolina for as long as I did. It was the people. I got to work under Brian North, and at the same time learn and watch some of the other guys that were in the market. You were there, of course. Billy Weaver was there at that time. Brian Meador. And to make these great connections, and as you said, it's such a great place, and you get to cover so many great things and so many unique and different things that it was a wonderful place to learn. As you know, of course, you got to cover all of Eastern North Carolina prep sports, and then you got to cover ECU. And you remember, Brian, back in the days when you just couldn't get everything online and all the highlights.
Yeah,
we had to drive to Duke and to North Carolina and to NC State, because sometimes that was the only way we were able to get coverage back in Eastern North Carolina. So there I was a couple years out of college, and I was sitting with the camera at Cameron Indoor Stadium and at the Dean Dome and at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium and all of these different places. So it was an amazing place to get my feet wet and learn how to do this whole sports thing. And at the same time, we were at the Carolina Panthers games as well as the Carolina Hurricanes game. It was so much fun. And then, of course, I moved to play-by-play was my first passion. So I got some great experiences with the Kinston Indians at the time, and then through that got to work at ECU and do a lot of baseball games and some fill-in, and Jeff Charles, who we all miss, and hard to believe still that he's not around. I mean, he was the one that made one of the first phone calls to Campbell when I put my application in here. He called and talked about me and did a good job of getting the resume on the top of the pile. So so many great people at Eastern North Carolina, as you know, and especially in Greenville, and that's why it's so much fun to have this game, and I can't wait to come back.
Yeah, it's a unique place for sure. All right, let's talk X's and O's now. What do you see from this Campbell football team? What are their strengths? What is Blake Harrell and his staff worrying about right now?
Well, there's a whole lot of new, and the biggest thing is, I said this during the game, when you're trying to scout Campbell, particularly at the quarterback position, you got three different guys you got to keep an eye on, and you got a guy by the name of Mike Chandler that ended up being the starting quarterback here for Campbell at the end of the year. He's a dual threat guy, period. But as you talked about, Cam Sixkiller, the transfer from McNeese, has taken over the starting role and has the majority of snaps. But when he's out there, so is usually the backup quarterback, Mike Chandler. So they'll run him on sweeps. He can catch the ball. He can run. And also, he'll take a lot of direct snaps. Campbell had a really successful series to take the lead in that game against Rhode Island. They were up on the number 9 team in the nation from the end of the first all the way into the fourth quarter. And he took a lot of direct snaps. He's a guy that when he gets the ball in the direct snap, he can usually get you 5 yards, but also, too, he can stop and throw. So you got to pay a lot of attention to which number is taking the snap and where number 1, Mike Chandler, is on the field. The running game did a really good job as well. It's a deep running back room. They had a little bit of injuries, and they've got some guys that can catch the ball, too. You know, we talked about Randall King, Northern Nash guy from Rocky Mount. He's the star receiver, quote unquote, for Campbell, but they got a transfer from Duke by the name of Spencer Jones that seems like he's going to be a guy that they can count on as well. So much new when you're talking about 56 newcomers, but it's not like Campbell just has that one receiver or that one back. They got a lot of different things they can show you on offense, and especially this early in the year, you know, you haven't seen them all on tape.
How has Campbell fared as far as the transfer portal, the NIL deals, that kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely. I think it is turning into an advantage for them. And at first you think about, well, how can that be an advantage? For instance, last year, Campbell, their star receiver, one of the best names in college football, Sincere Brown, he got over $500,000 to go to Colorado. He was the best receiver in this league, one of Campbell's best all times. And so you have that story. But then on the other end of it, you have a lot of guys on this Campbell team that have dropped down who have played on the Triangle teams or at ECU. Campbell right now has a couple of ECU guys on this team. When you think of Cam Durant, who was a left guard, that played there for the Pirates. Logan Wright is a backup nose tackle, another ECU transfer. And they've got guys on the team from Duke, from NC State, from App State, from UNC. We think a lot about, you know, the FCS is getting plundered and all their great guys are taken. But when you're in an area like this where Campbell is, 45 minutes away from NC State, 50 minutes away from Duke, an hour and a half away from ECU, there are some guys that for whatever reason want to transfer somewhere else, and they want to also stay in this area. So they take a look at Campbell as Coach Braxton Harris says all the time. This is a place where opportunities are, and so they can come here. And because of that story, the guy getting $500,000 because he was able to play a whole lot of snaps here at Campbell. They can say, you know what, I'm going to go down to a place where I'm familiar because I'm in the area, and I'm going to play a lot of snaps. And maybe if I'm really, really good, I might have a chance to bounce back up to the FBS again. But also too, there's a lot of people that come here, much like me, that really love Bowie's Creek, really love Campbell, and even though they have opportunities elsewhere, they know this is the place for them for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah, wouldn't you like to have a great broadcaster too, and somebody come to you and say, "Hey, why don't you come broadcast for us for $500,000?"
I mean, you know, I am still. I love this place. I'm still in the transfer portal. If
exactly,
Colorado wants to say to me, you know.
Yeah, we're all day to day anyway, so we're all in the transfer portal somewhere. Somebody can come and offer us big money, but just the money that's out there for college athletics is it's just absolutely nuts, isn't it?
Well, you know, the things have just changed so much, and I would tell our coaches all the time, and that's why it's been so amazing that Campbell has always tried to punch above their weight and has punched above their weight. They might not have the money that other programs do, and this was even before the transfer portal. And I always thought, man, the coaches here, they've got a tough job. They're succeeding, but they've got a tough job. And then you throw in the fact that you're trying to recruit kids and get kids to stay here. That can go. But I think also you can use that to your advantage. Look, you don't want to go to somebody and say, why don't you come here for a year? If you do really well, you'll probably get 6 figures somewhere else. But if you look at the transfers, Campbell, a longtime starting quarterback, Haj Malik Williams, ended up being the starting quarterback at UNLV last year, winning a whole bunch of games, winning a bowl game, and then getting in camp with the Las Vegas Raiders. So, you know, people are looking at that and thinking of, hey, we can come here and play a lot. And look, you can be fifth on the depth chart at NC State or ECU, or you can come down here, do a whole lot of snaps, and get yourself all the way to the pros. Brian, we had 3 guys that were in NFL camps for the last year, including Julian Hill, who is in his 3rd year with the Miami Dolphins. He's played 31 games for them the past 2 years as a blocking tight end. He's making real money. He's a kid from Fayetteville that was that was a quarterback, a second-team all-conference quarterback before he came to Campbell. Spent 5 years here, and now he's cashing an NFL paycheck from South Beach.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. All right, before we let you go now, let's get your analysis for what you expect to see coming up on Saturday night between East Carolina and Campbell. What kind of game do you think we'll see?
Well, look, as you know, Campbell won the first quarter the last time these two teams met in 2022. That's first and foremost. Campbell was up 10-7 after the first quarter, and some groans were coming from the Dowdy-Ficklin crowd, and for a 6 o'clock start time, Brian, they might sell out the game, but you and I both know the tailgating that goes on there. So maybe there might be a few people that are going to come in a little late. They see the score, it's 10-7. They don't even come in at all, and then you got more orange than purple in the crowd, and that's when the game can truly turn. In all seriousness, though, what someone told me was, if you can get close to halftime, then you can see what happened. The big difference in these games, and look around the country. Elon was hanging with Duke for a little while.
Yeah.
There were some upsets, but the big difference that a former college coach told me said in these games, at halftime, I've got 2 GAs that are trying to figure out on film, what the opposition and what these FBS teams are doing to us. An FBS team like ECU has 16 GAs that have already broken down all the plays that we're doing, all the formations we're doing, all the tendencies, and they're going to put those to work into the 3rd and 4th quarter. So that's when you usually see the separation get to be. So hopefully Campbell has done really good in these FBS games over the last years. They've hung with the likes of North Carolina. They've hung with the like of Wake Forest. And again, they were in the ECU game in the first half in 2022. So hopefully it can happen again.
Sounds good. Chris Hemeyer joining us from Bowie's Creek. Chris, have a safe trip up here. We'll look for you coming up on Saturday, and thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, congratulations on everything, and thanks so much for having me.
All right, thanks so much. Chris Hemeyer joining us. We'll take a commercial break. Coming up next, Dale Steele, 3 stints at East Carolina, and he resurrected that program at Campbell, the modern era of Campbell football. Back with Coach Steele after this.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Bond. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Big news from the Rick House. The Rick House has a brand new menu that you're absolutely going to love. New on the menu are creamy garlic parm chicken pasta, crab cakes, and our new porterhouse, half filet, half strip, tender and juicy, and grilled to perfection. The Rick House is the area's bourbon authority, featuring Willet, Jefferson Tropics, and the Frank Sinatra Select by Jack Daniels. The new menu features new, lower prices and $4 drafts all summer long. The Rick House, Red Bank Road in Greenville.
Greenville Motor Company and Greenville Auto World, 2 names that are synonymous with top quality sales and service in Pitt County for over 47 years. And Brian Cook joins us now. And Brian, talk about your philosophy when it comes to previously owned cars, trucks, SUVs, even hybrids now.
Yeah, we're going to shop all over the Southeast, trying to keep a good mix of inventory. And from there, we want to offer a top quality product to use through warranties and finance that we can provide.
Try us, trust us at Drive Here Now. BosticSugNow.com.
It's the sale everyone waits for. Bostic Sugg Furniture's incredible Labor Day sale. Right now, enjoy Labor Day savings on the most talked about on-trend styles for every room of your home. Whether you're looking for more relaxation at home or a better night's sleep, Bostic Sugg has hundreds of items in stock ready to go. Yours with 6 months special financing. Plus, get a discount equal to 2 times the sales tax or 60 months special financing during the incredible Labor Day sale on now at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
Eastern North Carolina, it's your guy, Roger Harris. I train to be the best on the field, but even more, it's about being my best for them. I know my joints won't heal on their own. Arthritis is coming, unless I stop it. Prevention beats pain. QC Kinetics use your body's own power to heal, rebuild, and restore. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Don't wait until pain sidelines you from the game of life. QC Kinetics, regenerative medicine, real results. Call now to schedule your free consultation. 252-645-6458.
The icy treat that can't be beat is Sparky Snowballs. From big kids to little kids, Sparky Snowballs has been making smiles happen for over 20 years. If you're not in the mood to chill out with a snowball, Sparky's funnel cakes and fried Oreos are a perfect Sparky-licious treat every time. Are you having an event, party, or fundraiser? Call Sparky's to come on site. Remember to follow Sparky's on Facebook or visit SparkySnowballs.com to see where they'll be next.
This is Marcus Crandall, former ECU Pirate and Grey Cup champion. And you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community owned, community powered. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show. A guy who's been on our show a number of times through the years, during his 3 different stints at East Carolina. He is in the Hall of Fame at Campbell now, so he knows some Fighting Campbell football. Dale Steele joins us. I believe he's in Myrtle Beach as he enjoys his retirement. But Coach Steele, how are you?
I'm sitting on my back porch, on my screen porch, looking out here at the lake, and a cool breeze is blowing, and that was a very familiar voice that brought me on there, Marcus Crandall.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we recruited him right after the Peach Bowl.
That's a long time ago because he was at Roanoke High School, which is not even there anymore.
Correct. He is. He's there, and then what a great young man! What a great addition to the program at the time. And Coach Logan did a great job with him. He became heir apparent to Jeff, and started a long line of quarterbacks after Jeff.
He most certainly did. All right, how does it feel to be a Hall of Famer, Coach Steele?
Well, I don't know that it's any different. It's funny. It's nice to be recognized. Obviously, we put in a lot of hard work to get it to the program. 17 years ago, August 31st, which was a couple of days ago, I think, we played our first game there. And to see the progress that's been made and to see the progress that continues to be made with the administration, and we have a new president, Dr. Downs, there, and with Hannah Bazemore at the AD, and Braxton Harris, who's come in and with his staff and done good things and nice things, and the growth it had under Mike. To see that first game that they played East Carolina, I think it was a couple of years ago, and we were over there and saw them play that. It's hard to imagine where the program had come from in a few short years to be able to, compete against the top programs in the country like East Carolina. It's humbling, and yet at the same time, there were so many people that were such a great part of building that program. So many young men and so many people in the university and boosters and commitments made by so many people that it really is special.
Coach Harris was on with us at the top of the show, and he kind of said that you kind of talked to him and said, I want this place to be a place where my former players can come and feel like they're at home and feel like that this is, they started this. They were the building blocks of something special, and I know that means a lot to you.
It does. It means a great deal to me, and that was one of the things that, when Braxton was hired and Hannah and Dr. Creed hired Braxton, that Braxton and I had a talk about, because the former players that came there, we had no aid at all for our guys, none whatsoever. And they came there because they wanted to play football and because they wanted to get an education. And I think there had been a disconnect, and which sometimes happens, between coaches, because players just don't feel comfortable coming back there with new staff and things like that. So one of the things that we talked about early on in Braxton's tenure there was, and with Hannah, was that bringing not just the football players, but all the athletes who had come through there through the years back to take pride in what Campbell was, because people don't remember the first day that Pam and I arrived on campus there. There was hardly a sidewalk. There was no football. There were two football helmets and two footballs. And we did a press conference over in Marshbanks. And on August 31st, a year away from that, we had over 5,000 people, standing room only, for that game. And since then, they've been able to play Wake Forest, and they got NC State this year, and East Carolina, and they're now fully funded with the scholarships. So it is special that those guys who brought that program, those coaches and those players and those alumni and that supported that program early in its existence, when it was nothing but a field with some, I call it a rector set bleachers. And we had the press box. The first press box we had was had I think 6 or 8 light poles and a trailer on top of it.
Well, we know all about having a trailer on top of a stadium. We had that for years at Dowdy Ficklin, but it's come a long way, hasn't it? It's just incredible what they've been able to do down there, and what Coach Harris has planned to keep going. And he's had some close, his first year he had a couple of close losses. He had the win over 17th ranked Western Carolina. He had a close loss to start the year this year. So I think they come to Greenville with playing with house money per se.
Well, I'll tell you, the thing about it is that football is so different today, whether you're in Blake's shoes or whether you're in Braxton's shoes. And the people who don't understand that yet are the fans, I think, Brian, that the way that we used to do it is not – it's hard to do it that way nowadays. It's hard to do that. I mean, you got a team playing last night with 70 new players on it.
Yep.
In North Carolina. And you've got West Virginia playing with 78 new players. And, this is a team sport. And, people are critical of the offensive line. Let me tell you something about playing offensive line now, because that's what I played. There are 5 guys up there trying to do the same thing, trying to get on the same page at the same time. When the defenses have changed to a point where that, they've got that star now, that the linebacker hybrid guy that moves around, and they're making checks and they're making calls and they're making moves. And then once the ball is snapped, they're moving and adjusting on the snap. And that takes some time, Brian, especially when you turn over an offensive line, or you turn over an offensive line coach in 1 year, and we had one of the best offensive line coaches in the country, Steve Shankwaller, there when I was there, and was with us at JMU, and it got more difficult to get people on the same page up front. And the secondary is somewhat the same way, Brian. You see so much movement nowadays. You see so much realignment. You see so many things going on back there. And those 5 guys have got to play together and cover a lot of grass. So it takes time to build a program. And that's, Braxton's going through losing players. Blake's going through losing players. there are so many schools that go through losing players where we used to sit in a room when I was with Steve or with Bill or anybody else that I was with and talk about, hey, this player is ready to play 30 snaps because he was here last year. You know, we got a starter, but we get 30 snaps out of this guy. And those two guys had spent time together and communicated with one another. They understood one another. They understood how to trade off a post pattern or off a play action. Their eyes were in the right place. And that's difficult to do. You don't learn to drive a car the first day you get behind the wheel by yourself.
That's true. Yeah, that's exactly right. And you talk so much about the offensive line and the old Ruffin McNeil saying that you have to have a nickel instead of 5 pennies, and it's coach speak, but it's so true, especially in the two position groups that you were talking about, the defensive backfield and the offensive line. We got to get a commercial break in. We're going to come back with more with Dale Steele from Myrtle Beach coming up in just a minute. Back with more on the Brian Bailey Show after this break.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers. Join us today for
big, juicy wings.
All season long at Tiebreakers.
Tiebreakers, with 2 locations in Greenville and on Railroad Street in Winterville.
Hey Landon, did you hear the news? Oh yeah, Dowdy Ficklin's getting a Mountain Dew makeover. That's right, the Mountain Dude is coming to get rowdy and dowdy. Please tell me he's bringing that neon green coat. Oh, you know it, and get this, fans can actually win one of those custom coats and get recognized on the field during the ECU Army game on September 25th. No way, you'd look good in one of those, man. No, I think it's got your name all over it. Be on the lookout for Mountain Dew standees at your favorite Mountain Dew retailers. Scan the QR code and you could win your own neon coat and a meet and greet with the dude himself. So mark those calendars, Thursday night, September 25th, ECU vs. Army. Let's paint it Mountain Dew green.
It's bow time. Sure, you've had a sausage biscuit before, but have you had the smoked sausage biscuit from Bojangles? Well, now is your chance. Juicy, slow-cooked smoked sausage is grilled to perfection and served on a fluffy, made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. No one does breakfast like Bojangles, and this smoked sausage biscuit doesn't disappoint. Right now, you can get 2 for just $5. Start your day with this flavor-packed deal while it lasts. It's bow time.
This is John Gavigan with the Gavigan Agency. Our top priority is doing what is best for our members. Whether you are buying a new vehicle, a new home, protecting your family with life insurance, or filing a claim, our agency will be there every step of the way. Our goal is to become a trusted advisor for you and your family for all of your personal and commercial insurance needs. Give us a call in Greenville at 756-1400 for a car, home, business, or life insurance quote today, and give us the opportunity to show you the benefits of doing business with someone who cares.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Clip Brock, host of PRL, every weekday at 3, right here on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community-owned utilities mean local control, low rates, and high reliability. Now, back to the show.
He had 3 stops at East Carolina, also stops at Wisconsin, Tulane, Wichita State, Kansas State, Baylor, ETSU, Elon, and Campbell. Our good friend Dale Steele, who is enjoying life, retired life in Myrtle Beach. How much golf are you playing these days, Coach?
You know, I changed my golf date. My golf date is usually on Tuesday about this time, and when you text yesterday, well, I said, well, we'll have to go on Monday, but it turned out okay. My group was able to gather up yesterday morning, and we played our golf yesterday morning. We play a couple of times a week. Play some with Coach Kirkpatrick. You know, he's retired down here.
Yeah.
In Wilmington, and you know, we play a little bit with him and get to see some of the other coaches around, and it's life is good, Brian.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. How's the health going these days? I don't know how public you've made everything, but I know you've been battling something for a while. But how are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good, Brian. It's a process, as Jim Valvano noted many years ago. You know, once you get cancer is very hard on your body, and you know that from your experience with it, that it's very tough on your body. It doesn't change your mind, it doesn't change your soul, it doesn't change your spirit, but it does take its toll on your body. And things that you could do with great freedom earlier in life, when you hit 70 years old and you've been a cancer patient for a little while, it takes a bit longer to do those things.
I tell you, I think about you a lot, and things have been good for me lately too. So I'm hoping that you and I can be around. We can do a lot more radio shows. How about that?
I'd love that, Brian. I tell you, it's such a pleasure to always talk to you, but it's such a pleasure to know that you have taken those steps and been in those shoes and have gotten through it through your strength, and we're glad. Wouldn't East Carolina and Channel 9 there in Greenville just wouldn't be the same without you.
You're gonna make me cry, but I appreciate it, because it's really, until you go through it, I know you have, but it's really different, isn't it? Sorry about that. Let's talk about the game, Campbell and East Carolina. What kind of game do you look for in that matchup?
Well, I think that again, you got two teams. It used to be, Brian, that when we reached this point in the season, you had gone through the process with your team of knowing what you had. I think that both football teams, having watched both of them play last week, are still in a situation where they've got to improve on some things. They've got to take some steps forward. They're early in the process. You've got to fix things from that first game to that second game. You've got to look forward to being able to execute better and do things better. And I think both teams are in the same situation. So I look for both teams because they have great coaching staffs and super talented young coaches as head coaches to make improvements this week. Now, which one of them will take the biggest improvement will be we'll find out on Saturday, obviously. But I think that Blake and them got off to a good start. But I'll tell you, both teams play very hard. They gave a great deal of effort the other night. In both situations with both teams, the game was a fourth quarter game. It came down to the fourth quarter, which means that you're getting a tremendous amount of effort. Now, the things that have to be done are the self-inflicted wounds have to be corrected, and whichever team, takes the greatest step forward in eliminating those self-inflicted wounds is going to be the team that's going to win the football game. But both of them are very similar, and I expect it to be another hard-fought football game. I hope it goes all the way to the fourth quarter with each one of them with a chance to win, and then whatever happens, because I have a great love for both schools and very appreciative of both schools and what both schools have meant to me.
Were you surprised that Blake Harrell was able to get the head coaching job at East Carolina when Mike Houston was let go?
Not really. Blake's talented. I mean, Blake is a talented individual, and he's such a great fit, I think, Brian, for East Carolina. East Carolina is a unique place, and I mean that not in a bad way, but I mean that it's a special place. There are some people that come through there, Brian, who don't have success there that are good football coaches, that don't understand the dynamic of the university and how the university works. And it's so important that, East Carolina's in a great place right now. The president is a super person. He's very invested in East Carolina. He's very invested in Greenville. I've known him since he was a little guy.
Yeah.
Like me saying that, but since he was 11 years old. And they live next to us. His dad was a minister there. And the AD, John Gilbert is super for East Carolina. He does a super job. He understands. He understands that the dynamic of being at East Carolina and the dynamic of using what you have to be the best you can be. That you may not necessarily have 50,000 people, but those 40,000 people that show up, you better be accommodating to those 40,000 people, and because those are good Pirate fans that are loyal, that are going to show up no matter who you play. And then Blake is the same type person. He's a relationship guy. He gets along so well with the players. He's a solid teacher. He can communicate to the players. He can get close to the players. And even though the timing of the process in football has changed, Brian, the fact that you still have to have relationships with players, they're still young people, they're still in their 20s, they've still got to trust you and trust that you're going to try to get them to a place they can't get themselves is important, and Blake is very capable of that. As is Braxton. Braxton, very, very similar in nature. Braxton's dad was a Texas high school coach in Waco when I was at Baylor. His dad is a very, very personable relationship guy, coached high school football. Braxton understands what the game is about, X and O wise, but he also understands what the game is about people wise.
All right, Coach, we're out of time. Very quickly, are you wearing purple or are you wearing orange on Saturday?
Well, I think I'm just going to wear black, and we're going to wear black and just be neutral as we can.
There you go. You'll be at the game then.
I will.
Okay, great. The Hall of Famer Dale Steele will be at the game. Coach, thanks so much for your time. Enjoyed it. We may get you back on before the Myrtle Beach Bowl. That'd be fun.
Well, we'd love to do that. We have a great little thing going down here, and it gets better every year. And ESPN events, and we're really growing and getting better at it. So and we'll continue to do that. But listen, good luck to all the Pirates this week. I know it's going to be a great turnout. We're going to all be there on Saturday to enjoy a good day of college football. College football is not dead, folks. Let me tell you that. It may have changed a little bit, but days like this Saturday, when you got two great in-state schools that are competing against one another, I'll tell you who wins. The fans win. The fans of Campbell and the fans of East Carolina, they're the winners. So.
And we're winners for having you on today. Dale, thanks so much. We certainly appreciate it. That's our show. We're out of time. I want to thank Braxton Harris, head football coach at Campbell. He brings his Fighting Camels to town coming up on Saturday. I want to thank Chris Hemeyer, the play-by-play voice of the Camels, and Dale Steele, the Hall of Famer at Campbell, and the former East Carolina assistant ×3. That's our show for today. We'll see you back here next week. Have a great sports week, everybody. We'll see you at Dowdy Ficklin coming up on Saturday.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, and also brought to you by
Bojangles, Bostic Sugg, Michelob Ultra, East Coast Grading, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Auto World, Greenville Utilities, Papa John's, Pepsi, QC Kinetics, Taft and Hagler, The Rick House, and Tiebreakers.
Join us next week for another edition of The Brian Bailey Show, right here on Pirate Radio.